one and Patreon subscribers, we'll start with the dollar CAD because this was a trade recommendation, and what's actually happened, very frustratingly, is that we broke monthly pivot. They had gone long, but we had this knee-jerk reaction, and this was probably a fundamental move because of the ADP number yesterday, and that, you know, we pumped basically, and very frustrating. See how we broke monthly pivot, so we should have probably continued to support, but we had that knee-jerk reaction. Now we're using it as a support to target resistance. So got some metrics here. So that tells us the daily open, your weekly open. So we're above both, and this is your ATR target at 13659. So it's possible we'll come up to the ATR, the average true range. It's possible, and this is just calculated on probabilities. So it might get there, we might go beyond, but this would be like a typical range high. Okay, and this is what that means. So slightly new addition, just to give us some additional metrics. So we've got the monthly pivot, we've got the ratios, and we've got our weekly open and daily open and the ATR targets. Let's look at the dollar Swiss, which was another thing that I tried to short, and so we had that big horrible knee-jerk reaction there, taking out the stop loss cluster, so that is of note, 9399, and you know there's MR1 9405, so it might be a monthly pivot to MR1. Now we're taking a stop loss cluster. It's going to be a strong resistance. We have exceeded the ATR long by a lot, and that's calculated on the weekly metric. So there's your ATR short. So we've exceeded the ATR long quite a bit, and we're taking the stop loss cluster out, and MR1 is above, and so really we shouldn't really have pumped because of the sentiment so high. They're really long, and they got paid. So that looks a bit ominous there. I'm not going to put out a trade recommendation today, but if you did fancy a trade, this could be a good setup. 9405. The stop is very tight, and we've got two reasons to short it. Well, three reasons, because we've got that at the high level, it's a sell, it's a liquidity grab, and we've got technical resistance, and the risk reward's quite good as well. I'm not going to open any trade today. I'm going to come back on Monday, but if you did fancy something, this could be a good short with a stop just maybe 9406, just above the MR1 level, but we're seeing we're taking that stop loss cluster. Very naughty. The reason for it is because they put their stops above that high. Okay, let's look at EU. I'd probably think this has taken some stop out as well. Yes, we did. So that's a large stop loss cluster. There's your support. The stop loss cluster above is at 10735. So we've taken this. The school builders have got their lunch money. Whether or not that's going to be the end of it, whether or not they might move their stops lower. If it gets larger, it might continue to try and get that liquidity. Stop hunt on EU. All right. I'm guessing a lot of these dollar pairs. I haven't seen them yet. I assume that's probably the case. And they've just used the NFP as a reason to scare them. So 118.70 was a SLC, and the one above is at 119.40. They had gone long, admittedly, and there's your monthly pivot there. So technically, we were quite bearish. Okay, and then look at AU. We didn't quite get it. We came close, or we probably would have done. See how we were 307. Okay, so it's having to think about it. But that's where the stop loss cluster is. It's 67.30. There's your monthly pivot there, and the one above is at 69.01. Let's look at the dollar yen. Now the thing is, with the bubbles, we've got a strong USD on the bubble, so be careful about fighting it. Looks like we're making a W here, doesn't it? 134.50 and one below. Oh, it's not let me load it. 131.65. They had sold it. Can you see? And by selling it, it should push price higher. We've got monthly pivot, and we are a buy at the big picture. And show you the bubbles. So there's the dollar bubble. There's the yen bubble. So dollar yen You know, could be a good long, but it's NFP, isn't it? That's interesting. That would, you know, this would be X, A, B, C, D, where the D is going to be a sell, and it looks like we're broken above B. We tested B, and that's where the stop loss cluster is. So from a zigzag perspective, this is actually making a sell because we made a W, and the M's are buys. Okay, so that's a bit of harmonic for you. So whenever we see a W, it can indicate, you know, like a wave pattern where it completes. It needs to sometimes break above B, which is your body of the harmonic. I wonder if I can show you this. Zigzag. Okay. Yeah, so this W here can indicate a sell. See, this is an M, right? And that's the move from that. And there's the M. There's that move. So we create a W. So this wouldn't be a trade recommendation because of the bubbles. The bubbles tell us that this can go higher. But from a technical perspective, we've made a W and we've broken above that B. So, and we've got liquidity grab as well. So be careful. And it looks like we had a stop hunt on quite a few dollar crosses. So if that is the case, we should see this move. This dollar bubble should move. And if it comes across here, it tells us it was a stop hunt. Right? If it stays there, then they're going to continue to hunt the retail traders on their dollar crosses. Be careful, and I'll speak to you guys on Monday, where I'm going to do a video on pitchforks, and that's our P video, and the Q will be obviously about QuasiDB. So have a great weekend. I'll speak to you guys soon.